Well, happy holidays, beautiful ones. Romy Marlowe coming to you live here on my private Facebook profile, possibly for the very last time in 2022. So, welcome to this incredible space. When you jump on live or on the replay, I would love it if you would say hello in the comments. Are you loving my hat? My mom bought me this hat for Christmas, so I thought I would wear it in honor of Christmas and my mom and the fact that I love hats. So when you jump in, please say hello in the comments. Like I said, make sure that you say hi, whether you're here live with me or on the replay. I thought it would be a really great opportunity to share a little bit more about Romy's Reading Room. I have had so many inquiries. A lot of women have jumped into my DMs as well as just responded to my Facebook posts and wanting more information about Romy's Reading Room. And I have been sending out emails. If you're somebody who has asked for information and has not received an email, please let me know, because I feel like everybody who has wanted information has gotten it. However, through the holidays, if I missed you somehow, I'm really sorry. Just drop me a private message and we'll scoot it out to you right away. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Janet. So I'm going to give you a little backstory about Romy's Reading Room because I think it's really important. And it's interesting because as I sit here, if you look in the background, you'll see shelves of books. So I'm actually sitting in my mom's office. I come from a long line of readers. And from what I understand, my mom read to me in utero, and then she read to me basically from the moment I was born on. And when I got into, I think it would have been junior kindergarten, the teacher was incredibly disappointed because I was already at some level of reading. I was beyond reading levels. I was beyond the reading levels of the average child my age. So I've been reading my entire life. I read books like, and let me know if you read any of these as a young girl. I read books like Little House on the Prairie, Nancy Drew, all of the Judy Blume series. Anybody read those? Are you there? God, It's Me, Margaret. That was a really big one. I read books all my life. I've been a reader. And it's something that has been kind of foundational, I would say, in my growth and expansion, not only as a woman, but as a human. And then also, of course, my first real career was that I was a high school teacher and I taught English Lit. So there are probably a lot of people here who don't know that, but I was a teacher for a decade. And I believe that 9 of 10 of those years were spent in classrooms with high school students, trying to show them the power in the written word and in literature and in books. And I did more than just teach books. I actually walked them through the meanings of books and the meanings of words and the importance of the messages within the covers of those books. So I have been a lifetime reader and also kind of, in some ways, a teacher of books and the written word for, well, I started teaching when I was 30. I'm now 53. So for the last 23 years, I have been teaching around the messages that I have found between the covers of incredible books. And so a lot of people have been in book clubs, right? So if you've been in a book club, you know that they're lots of fun. It's a great way to move through a book that you might otherwise either not read on your own, or maybe you would read half of it and you would set it down. Maybe you get easily distracted, or maybe you just wouldn't get out of books what you would get out of a book if you were to study the book as opposed to just read it. It's really interesting. The last book study I did was The Myth of Normal by Gabor Mate and his son Daniel Mate. And I remember saying with to Daniel Mate on a live that he and I did, I said, this is a book that needs to be studied, not just read. And then I actually looked back on the book studies that I've done in the past, and we studied The Alchemist, We studied The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger. We studied, I'm trying to think, When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron. And I realized that I only really like to read books that are study worthy. It's true. I mean, there were years when I read lots of Stephen King and, Tom Clancy and things like that. But the truth is that my favorite books, and the majority of the books that I have read over the years, have been books that are study worthy. And so I figured that a few things. Okay, first of all, for women like myself who love to read, what a cool idea to bring us all together. Now, I know I'm not the first person who's done that. There have been book clubs around for eons. But I love to bring women together. It's one of the things I love to do within the Uncommon Woman brand. And so bringing women together in order to read together just makes all the sense in the world to me because of everything I've already shared with you. So that's one thing. And second of all, I realized that the work that I do in the Uncommon Woman and the kinds of books that we read and the kind of studying that we do is different than what people might do in other book clubs. Because one, I've been in other book clubs, I've led book clubs, and also I've had feedback from people who have been in other book clubs. And what I know for sure is that Romy's Reading Room is really, really unique. It's a unique reading experience. It's really more like a spiritual journey through reading, or a spiritual reading journey, whatever you want to take it as. Because we don't only read the books, but we study the books and we reflect upon what we've read. We apply them to the lessons within the books. We apply to our own lives. We explore the themes. We explore the concepts and the challenges. We explore the beliefs that are laid out in front of us within the books. We talk about whether we agree with them or not. It's really a growth and expansion journey. And so when I decided to launch Romy's Reading Room, it was after the book club for The Myth of Normal. And we had a huge, huge success rate. I think there was something like 30 or 40 women in the book club. I can't remember now, actually. And every week, we met every week. And every week we had between 10 and 15 women on the calls, which is actually really, really incredible. And it spoke volumes to the quality of connection, the quality of learning, the quality of the book club itself. And when we were finished at the end of November, the feedback was absolutely amazing. But one of the greatest things that I learned about the book club and the way that I run book clubs is that it's really an opportunity for women to come together and transform their lives, transform whatever it is that they are ready to transform in that time. Everybody has a very different experience of my book clubs and the way that I do them, but I feel like all of the experiences are really, really positive and unique. And one of the reasons why so many of the women who became members of the book club are now in Romy's Reading Room is that they saw value in a long-term relationship and a long-term space. So I did a book club in 2020, and this was the book club that we read When Things Fall Apart by Pema Chodron, The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger, and The Alchemist. And in that time, I realized that there was a need for something different, something unique, a space where women can come together and build friendships and have open conversations about whatever it is that they feel they need to speak on in that time, and also to come into a space that's really casual. It's not about your business. So I'm surrounded by a lot of entrepreneurs, and what I feel is that most of us are in spaces that are business connected. So all the conversations are related to business. Everybody in the group is a business owner or an entrepreneur. And we're always in this space of business growth. But what about the personal development? What about just having fun? What about just reading with friends? What about just kicking back in your pajamas with a hot chocolate or a cup of tea and actually just being present for a really great conversation? Maybe even not even saying anything that day. Maybe just hanging out with a group of women who you really like, women who you admire and respect, women who are doing really cool things in the world and who have incredible lived experiences. What about that? I feel like there has been so much when it comes to business development and business growth that there has actually been a bit of a gap around just reconnecting to the fun aspect of life and to the personal growth that's not about business. And so when I brought the original book club in 2020, we did 3 books. I mean, the women really didn't want to stop. And finally, I took a pause after those 3 books, which was the end of the year, basically. And then I didn't do a book club in 2020. And then this year, I was really moved to do a book club around The Myth of Normal when the book came out in the fall. And so I opened up another book club. So it was the second one I had done in 2 years. Huge success, amazing growth and expansion, and beyond anything that I could have ever imagined. Sorry, my dog has decided to sit with me. Anyway, and so like I said, after the book club was over, the women were wanting more. And I sat back and I gave it a little bit of space and time. And I had some really important conversations with people who really felt like this was something. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I'm actually going to open up a membership space called Romy's Reading Room. And we're going to do 12 books in 12 months. And it's going to be rich and deep and evocative and fun and interesting. We're going to read fiction and nonfiction. We're going to have incredible conversations. We're going to build friendships. We're going to connect in a long-term relationship. We're going to commit to a long-term relationship. We're going to do this next year together and really go all in and just see how it goes, see what comes of it. However, I know that it's going to be a success. I already know because I've run 2 book clubs now and they have been successful. I know what makes a successful book club. But it's more than just a book club. It's really a reading room, which takes me back to the space that I'm in right now. I feel like I'm in a reading room. This is my mom's office, but it's full of books. And it's a place that she has spent many, many years coming into to study and to work and to grow spiritually and to read. And so Romy's Reading Room is a space where women can come together. It's a virtual space where women can come together to grow, to read, to share, to expand, to explore, and to just have fun and kick back with other women. Now, Romy's Reading Room is a 12-month journey. And what that means is it's not a month-to-month membership where people can come and go. And here's why. Because there are a lot of those spaces. There are a lot of free book clubs out there. If you want to be part of a free book club, I know that there are many. And there are probably book clubs where you can come in and out. But my goal with this book club is actually to give the women who are in the space an opportunity to build real relationships that are long-lasting and that are deep and that are meaningful. And the only way that we can do that is to commit. It's when we don't commit, when we decide that we're in and out. Oh, I'm just going to go and try this out, that we actually don't put any skin in the game. So if this isn't for you, then it's not for you. You know, I really want to stress that this is a space for women who like to build long-term relationships, a space where women like to have a full experience. It could be that there's going to be a book that we read that you're not super into. You don't have to leave the group. Maybe you just don't buy the book that month, or maybe you show up for one call and see how you feel, but you get to be with us next month. So our relationship with you isn't broken just because you're busy that month, or there's sickness in the family, or you've already read that book, you don't want to read it again. And there are going to be so many resources within Romy's Reading Room that even if you're not with us for 1 month reading one particular book, A, you're still part of the community, so you still get to be part of the activity every day. B, you have access to all of the resources for all of the other books that we've already read. And you can still join and just check it out. It could be that a book that you didn't think you would want to read, you're going to be really interested in. Whatever. But the point is that we're here to build relationship. We're not just here to be in and out. So if you're somebody who likes to do little short time spurts and things and you don't like to commit, then this probably isn't for you. And I'm super honest about that because I really want to build relationships and community with women who are in it for the long run. So it's a 12-month journey. You can pay month to month, but it's a year commitment, right? So you can pay in full, which is a little bit less you save than if you were to do the month to month. So the month to month investment is $39. If you want to pay in full and save some money, it's $399. However, what I'm doing today And I started this yesterday afternoon, so I still have a few hours to promote it. So I'm going to, because I feel super excited about this, is that when women came into the book club in the fall, anybody who wanted to roll over into Romy's reading room, I gave them the opportunity to do so for $299. Now, the reading room itself is $399 US for the year. And I'm not even going to talk about the value of that, because it's basically 12 months of community, coaching, mentorship, studying books, resources, live calls. Like it's everything for $399. So the value is unbelievable. But what I've decided to do, and I started this yesterday, and I've got a few more hours to go, is offer Romy's reading room for $299. But it's a pay in full only, just like the $399, to the end of the day today. So that is like to midnight of today. Then the price goes back up. But right now, it's $299. If you decide to do monthly payments, it's $39 a month. Either way, it's mind-blowing value. And to be able to come in at $299, which is the value that the women who were in the book study get to come in at, is really incredible. I think it works out to $27 a month. So Romy's reading room is a transformative space. I really believe that the women who come into this space will, at the end of the year, look back and say that it was one of the best experiences of their year, personally, professionally, spiritually. I've never run a book club that hasn't been a huge success, because I love reading. And so I put everything into it. I love creating communities of women. So I put everything into it. I love facilitating healing spaces. It's part of what I do in the Uncommon Woman brand. So I put everything into it. So everything that the Romy's reading room experience is my zone of genius. And so this is why it's incredible value. This is why I think it's going to be the best reading room book club experience out there. I have never been in a space that has been like this. The other thing about it is that I make efforts to connect to the authors. And if we can't connect to the authors, we connect to people who have incredible stories, people who are experts, people who are great guests for the women to listen to and connect with around each of the books. So it's not just the book. I'm actually going to make really big efforts this year to bring in as many authors as I can and as many unique experiences as I can for the women in Romy's reading room. So Romy's reading room is so much more than a book club. It is a spiritual journey through reading. It's an opportunity for women to come together and build friendships, things that are outside of the norm of what's being offered out there. And it's not about business, even though you can take everything that we've done in this group and apply it to your work or to your business, if that's what you want to do. This is really about you as a person, you as a woman. And I think that that's what's missing. My feed is inundated with people making great promises and great offers that are all about money and all about business and all about entrepreneurship. And I think that's incredible, and we need those things. But I also think that in all of this, we've somehow lost ourselves. And I don't want us to lose ourselves anymore. I want us to remember that we are so much more than business owners and entrepreneurs. We are women with hearts and souls, and we have holes in our hearts that we want to fill. We have broken relationships that we want to mend. There are authors that we've never read. There are stories that we've never heard. There are people whose lives we've never had an opportunity to peek inside. And I want to make that an experience for all of the women who want to be in this space. So right now, everybody who is here or jumps live, you have an opportunity to come into Romy's reading room for $299 US for the year, pay in full, or $39 a month for the year. And it is a 12-month journey. So like I said earlier, if you're not somebody who wants to commit, it's okay. It's fine. You don't have to be part of this. If you're somebody who's like, I actually want to do something and stick to it and just really dig my feet in and get to know some incredible women and get some great coaching and mentorship and maybe even, who knows, expand and evolve in ways I can't even imagine. I'm ready to do something like that, and I'm ready to do it for a whole year. I'm telling you, this is a beautiful space. Something that I've never seen before. So I invite you into Romy's reading room. The first 3 books of Romy's reading room, in case this is like important to you and you really want to know what they are before you make a decision, I get it. That's fine. I'm going to tell you one thing. I have really great taste in books. And I choose books that I think are going to have a wide reach and that will speak to everybody. So book number 1 is, drumroll please, How to Be Loving by Danielle Laporte. Now, I couldn't say enough about Danielle Laporte. Good stuff. But for those of you who don't know her, I would consider her, even though she'd probably never say this herself, a spiritual healer, leader of the 21st century. She is a Canadian. She is from Vancouver. She is a poet. She is a muse. She is a beautiful writer. She's brilliant. Her perspective is expansive and open, and it's loving. And this book is such a breath of fresh air to read. So this is book number 1. It's absolutely incredible. And I've already started diving into it because I always read the books prior to the study so that I know what to bring forward. And I can't even, like, first of all, look how pretty it is. Hi, Erin. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Rahina. Hi, Bob Marnie. Sorry, Michelle. What kind of books do you read? I'm looking long-term relationships. Oh my gosh, yay. It's everything. It is fiction, nonfiction. It's creative. It's spiritual. So book number 2. So let me just answer this. How to Be Loving is all about love. How to be more loving in our own lives with ourselves so that we can be better humans in the whole world, better global citizens. I mean, this is going to be, if you know the Course in Miracles, I feel like this is the Course in Love. Yeah, it's that good, okay? And it's like the prettiest book that I've ever held. Anyway, How to Be Loving is January, February. We start January 10th, so this will go to the middle of February. Book number 2 is called Black World. It is written by Dr. Bertice Berry, an incredible, incredible Black speaker, author, American woman who I follow on Instagram. If you don't follow her, and you're going to fall in love with her, and then you will understand why I chose her to be book number 2, and also in alignment with Black History Month, which is February. So February, March is going to be Black World, and I'm super excited about it. And I think I have to look, but last time I looked, it was on pre-order. Like, it wasn't even out yet. And we're going to try our best to have some connection with her during that time, and as well with Danielle. I don't know. I always like to try my best and see if we can have some connection with the authors during the book club. So, or book study, reading room, all the things. Okay, so just to recap, book number 1 is How to Be Loving, Danielle Laporte. If you order it right now, you'll probably have it by like Monday. Don't worry, you won't be late. We start January 10th. Book number 2 is Black World by Dr. Bertice Berry. Find her on Instagram. It's amazing. You're going to love this book, I think. I haven't read it, but I've read a lot about it. And I'm excited to get it in my hot little hands. And that's our second book. And then book number 3 is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. And the reason that I chose that book is because we're going, so you have to understand, I choose these books with intention, and then I time them with intention. So Big Magic is all about creativity and the creative flow and harnessing your own creativity. Now, it's the spring, right? It's April. And as we move into the spring, so many of us feel like a renewal, a creativity. We start painting walls, and we start cooking great recipes, and we start changing our hair. And like, creativity is one of the things that starts to bloom in the spring. And so I decided to bring Big Magic forward because I love that book. It is like a Bible to me. I think if you've already read it, read it again with us. We're going to look at it through different lenses because we're different women than we were last time we read it. And truly, it is phenomenal. Now, something that's really exciting that, should I spill it here? Okay, I'm just going to say this. Elizabeth Gilbert goes on tour in April in Canada of 2023. So, if you think about why I might have chosen Big Magic, right around the time that she's on tour. Think about it. I'm just going to put that out there because there are opportunities for the women who are in Romy's reading room to, I don't know, meet in person, go see Elizabeth Gilbert live as she talks about big magic. As I said, nothing that I do is just like throwing gel at the wall. It's very intentional. So, all of that being said, Erin, great choices. I know, right? Yeah. So this is where we're going with Romy's Reading Room. It's more than a book club. It's a sisterhood of women who are becoming friends and who are connecting in different ways besides business coaching containers. Yeah, that's what it is. It's truly an epic, epic opportunity. So there you go. You just signed up? What? You're so funny. I love you. I'm so excited. Finally. Erin, I love you. So here we go, sisters. So that's Romy's Reading Room. And, we're just getting started. I mean, this is the first time that I've ever run Romy's Reading Room. And I am excited about how it's going to grow and expand over the year. I know in my heart that it's going to be the best reading space out there because that's my intention, is to make it irresistible and so juicy and yummy for all of you that you're just salivating whenever a new book comes out. So I love you. I honor you. Thank you for showing up. If you want to join, just knock on my door, drop me a message. I'm actually going to put the link for you to sign up in the comments. I'm going to put the monthly pay, and I'm also going to put the sign up for $2.99. This is only good till tonight, okay? Then at the end of the day today, it will go back up. So the regular yearly rate is $3.99. And like Erin's been in my space, she knows the value. She knows the value that it brings. Angelica, there's another Romy's Reading Room sister in the house. Anyway, so feel free to invite your friends in. Like, I feel like this is the kind of thing you want to say to your bestie who maybe isn't a business owner. I don't know, maybe you do all these really cool things and she's not in it with you because she's not a business owner or not an entrepreneur, or she's on a different journey than you. And you're like, I want to do something with you, but I don't know if this will land. Invite your friends to this and say, do you want to do this year-long reading room with me? We're going to do 12 books in 12 months. It's going to be an incredible group of women. It's going to be juicy and yummy. And you and I get to kind of hang out and do something really different together. I think it's a great opportunity. Anyway, it's worth at least $1,000 a month. The way that Romy cultivates community is her superpower. Oh, I love you. That's so sweet. Hi, Angelica. Anyway, so I'm going to put all the links in the comments here, but please feel free to reach out to me if you would like more information, and I'll send you off the email about Romy's Reading Room. It's going to tell you probably everything I've shared here. Maybe people want to know a little, format. Okay, so here's quickly the format of Romy's Reading Room. We do 2 live calls a month, okay? 2 live calls a month. There is a group, a Facebook group that is a private group where we will all be connecting and communicating and talking about the books. There will be digital resources available so that you can not only study along with us as you read, but also for those of you who love to print things off and write, you can do that. So there's going to be digital resources. What else? Last book club, we had a chat, but I'll see about that because I feel like the Facebook group is a great place to do that. We might end up having an external chat for those who really want that chat space. So anyway, I'm really open, but it's just a really beautiful opportunity, actually. Hi, Marilyn. It's actually a really beautiful opportunity for all of us to just connect. What I want to do is connect the women in this space in as many ways as possible, with as much ease as possible. I don't want anybody to feel overwhelmed. I don't want anybody to feel guilty because they can't come to the calls. Like, all the calls are recorded. You have access to the recordings so that you can actually be with us on the call and see what it is that we've been doing. You will not be behind. Just because you can't be on a live call does not mean that you're going to feel behind. That's a mindset. It's a limiting belief. If that's something that you feel you must be on every single live call and you can't, and so it's not going to work for you, that's fine. But I'm telling you, It's so much more than the live calls. I promise you. It is the experience of reading with other women. It's all of the connection that we have between the calls. It's coming into the group and saying, I read this and this is what it means to me. And then other people coming in and chiming in. Like it's everything. It's not just one thing though. It's everything. Okay. So because I've had some women reach out and say, when are the live calls? And if I can't be on the live calls, I don't know if it's worth it. And I'm like, if you really believe in the power of transformation, if you really believe in the power of friendship and sisterhood, if you really believe that something like this is what you need, please just set all your limiting beliefs aside and allow yourself to have an experience without judgment. Because so often we look at the things that we've done in our past and we weren't there live, and so then we just stop showing up. But that's not because the space itself isn't effective without the calls. It's because you made a choice, right? And so I just really want to encourage you to look at Romy's reading room as something that you've never done before. Like, don't treat it like something that you've done before. Don't come into it with any kind of expectation besides, I'm just going to have an amazing year. And then just let it unfold, because we get these ideas in our minds about what it should or shouldn't look like, or what we should or shouldn't be doing in the group. And I'm like, you don't even know because you've never been in it. Like, for $39 a month, believe me, it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. We spend more than that in a week in coffees. Like, if you break it down, it's $10 a week, right? $10 a week for possibly lifelong friendship. So I'm going to tell you a quick story and then I'm going to go. It's about transformation, not information. Exactly. So before you go, about 6 years ago, I paid close to $10,000 to be in a mastermind. And that mastermind was pretty good. It was a business mastermind. I think it was about 4-month container. I had no idea, zero idea what to expect. And at the end of it, I was going to be going and meeting a group of women in this live space in BC, and we were going to spend the weekend together. And I had so many expectations about what it would be. And it was a great space, but it was nothing like I expected it would be. But I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't on all the live calls and trainings because I had other things going on. I wasn't always present. I didn't do every single assignment, but it was highly transformative. And I met one of my best friends in the entire world in that space. And she has been my best friend, one of my best friends ever since. And we always laugh and say, you're the $10,000 friend. So sometimes it's not about the books. It's not about the conversation that you didn't get to be at. Maybe it's about that's where a new client is, or that's where your new friend is, or it's in this space where you get to fully and completely be yourself for the first time. Like, just don't put any walls around what this space could be, because it just could be that in this space you will find your soulmate friend. In this space you'll find yourself again. In this space you'll find another woman who's going through exactly what you're going through. And you're going to realize that for $39 a month, you couldn't have got that anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Hi, Nicole. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Okay. Romy's reading room. There are the details. If you want me to send you the email, still, please reach out and I will send it to you. Give me 24 hours. It might be before the end of 24 hours, or it could be in 24 hours, but I will get the email out to you. I am on a bit of a holiday right now, so I'm trying to be very intentional about my time, but I just wanted to come in and share all of that with all of you. So I love you. I honor you. Stand common. Thank you for showing up here. If you want to share this out to your community, if you have people in your world who you think would really benefit from a space, or if you have a girlfriend who is like a complete reading fanatic and she would be totally into this, send this to her, invite her in, right? Because this is for all of us. It is not a book club. It's a reading room. It's a spiritual journey. It's a movement. It is so much more than anything that you have ever experienced with books. I promise you that much. Have an incredible day. Happy holidays. Take care.